So one of the things that we realize is that the family house project is a huge thing, right? And I think that there are resources, like you were saying, within the community to put it all together, and there are a lot of strong, smart people in each community. But each person also has a lot of things to do, like their jobs and their family and different projects, and so sometimes they're just very, very busy, or not, they're going to be out of town, or there's community, there might be deaths in the community, or there might be all kinds of issues that make it hard to meet on a regular basis, or might make it hard to know what to do when. And so in certain contexts, some communities might choose to work with people who are from outside of the community.
Like the things that we cannot work on ourselves, we always need help from outsiders. And like I said, trust is an issue when we can't even trust ourselves to decide things, and we think that white people in other organizations to come and decide for us is the right decision. But they are complementary to us. They are not to decide for us, because we know the needs of our own community. Inuit know what we see every day within our families, within the community, within our friends. We know what our issues are, so we can decide on our own what we need. We cannot say that it's the white person coming from another organization that's going to solve the issues for us. It's us on our own, but they definitely can help us complement on the help that we need.
One of the things that, so when you're reading in the literature and looking at different projects and how they work, like one of the advantages of working with people from outside of your community is to just be exposed to other ideas, because it's when you hear different ideas that you can make your own kind of projects and plans. So it can kind of spark new thoughts or new ways of doing it. It can also help to learn about what happened well in certain contexts or not. So for example, like if in one community they're experiencing a lot of challenges, well, sometimes it can be nice to hear from somebody outside of the community that it's difficult in other contexts too. It's not just because your community has problems. So that connection with outside can be helpful. But I think that as myself, a person from outside of the community, and speaking to a lot of other people from outside the community, sometimes it's hard for us to find that role that we can play and how to support and how to not create too many tensions or challenges. And one of the issues that we see a lot is like this, when we come, we want to help. We have these ideas, and sometimes we might think that we know something, and we also feel like maybe a pressure to have things work, and so we fall into this dynamic of efficacy. Even like organizations might expect activities to happen really often and expect a certain number of people to come, and then as an outsider, and I don't know if it's the same thing for community members, but there can be this pressure of like doing things quick and making decisions quickly, but if you do that, the problem is that you're maybe more efficient, but it's not as empowering, and you're not helping as much that the community will make their own decisions and be sustainable over time. But on the other hand, we also notice that if decisions are not being made quickly, if people don't meet often enough, if activities don't happen enough, it's also disempowering sometimes for community members. And so it's like finding that balance sometimes is a challenge. Okay? And the other thing that I notice is that the role of outsiders is going to be different over time. So there's maybe at certain times in a project, a person from outside can actually really support a lot and structure a lot. We were asked sometimes to lead activities or to move forward in certain components of the project. But then after a certain while, when people really feel confident and feel like they own the process, they might ask that we be really less involved and be more there to just to hear about the project, or to give advice once in a while, or our thoughts, share our thoughts, or to connect. But that role has to change, and so we have to really be alert and adapt over time.
Yeah.